Is everything I made to use up food from my cupboards and my freezer. I have a problem with overconsumption, and not with clothes or trinkets, but with food items. My favourite shop is a supermarket, and just who doesn't love a farmer's market? I've collected quite a variety of flours, which I'm now trying to use up in every bread recipe. I love to use rye or wholemeal flours for their health benefits, but they do give you a much denser loaf, and I found there's a sweet spot where you can mix both flours together and get the health benefits from the wholemeal and the rising benefits from the white flour. It saves me time to make 2 or 3 batches of bread in one go. I portion it out and put it in the freezer, and it means I don't have to bake bread for another week. Vegetables will last so much longer than the date it says on the packaging. I made this stock on the 18th, so that's nearly 20 days after those dates. And I've been saving beef scraps in the freezer until I had enough to make a big batch of beef stock. I'll cook another dinner or even 2 with this stock later in the week. Or to save space, reduce the liquid down by at least half and it will set in a jelly-like consistency. Obviously, cupboard ingredients like dried fruits and nuts have a much longer lifespan. I just have way too many of them. This cookie recipe is my go-to for using up nuts, and it tastes just like the Subway white chocolate and macadamia nut cookies. I often buy pretty out there ingredients thinking that the family might like them, like these dried figs for example, which just no one liked, and then I'm left to find recipes I can come up with that I can hide these ingredients in. I hate food waste, so I refuse to throw these things away, but cake is always a good thing to hide stuff in. I'd made this chicken for my partner's work lunch but forgot he actually had a couple of days off, so I made it into a creamy chicken pie with whatever vegetables I could scrounge from the fridge. I even used up the broccoli stalks, which actually have a great flavour, and I had 1 day left on this bacon, so I thought I'd chuck that in too. The day before, I'd taken out this huge bottle of chicken stock from the freezer. One of my favourite ways to use up stock is to make it into a creamy white sauce. It kind of reminds me of the gravy you get at IKEA for your meatballs, but much better. And I've started cubing potatoes instead of mashing them for a topping. They go so crispy and delicious, and it's much better than using all that butter and cream in mash. I bought these whole organic oats when I was on a little bit of a health kick, but as a family that's used to rolled oats, these were a little bit of a shock to use, and my kids refused to eat the porridge I made with them, so I blended them up till a lot smoother, and I'm going to use them like ready bread. Preparing things like the oats, or even pre-chopping fruit or pre-grating cheese, makes things far easier for me when I'm trying to run my house, and much less likely to waste the food if it's ready for me to just grab and go. I get really anxious when I know there's food in the fridge that needs to be cooked before it goes out of date, so when I do big cook-ups and days like this, it's literally like my therapy, and then I get to eat everything at the end.